Right, so welcome to the Red Zone's exclusive coverage of the first WMCQ here in the Philippines, 2016. And it's the finals. We have Mark Ramos facing Zach Ozaki. We have two decks which are not uh, part of a huge chunk of the metagame. We have Blue Red Eldrazi Control versus Abzan Midrange. So with Blue Red Control, it actually did break out in, I think, Grand Prix Manchester. So it's still quite known in foreign countries, but not in the Philippines, considering the metagame in the Philippines consists of a lot of humans, company decks, and green white tokens. So that's the bulk of the metagame here. And for Zax, his deck, I think it's a brew. I haven't seen that style of deck in a while in standard.
Yeah, the with the matchup though, even though the blue red control deck is tuned to beat decks like the like green white tokens, it's a deck that's heavy on counter spells and um, wait, it's a deck that's heavy on counter spells and it has some huge threats that also act as removal. And the problem with the matchup with well Zax's problem with this deck is um decks that are heavy on counter spells are generally favored against mid range decks because you're normally just casting one spell at a time and the control deck can actually have solutions for each of the cards 1:1, and even if you can get a couple of the cards or maybe three of the cards through, that might still not be enough to turn the game. So right now Marcus on the left and we have Zach's on the right. Everyone's going through their decks. We have Zach um, shuffling Mark's deck and we should be on the way soon.
And I think for Zax right now, uh, Gideon will be a huge factor in this matchup. If he can resolve that and not get answered quickly, uh, the games might turn out in his favor. We can see a fist bump right there, and we're gonna go on to game number one. But
I think Moses on hand. Mark, I believe, is the top seed and might be playing first.
we can see the playmat right here for Zax. Ruthless Bandits. Do you have Do you have any idea on the background of this playmat?
I just know that it's their team. I don't. I think the people from they're mostly from the south part of Manila. Uh, not too much, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't know too much about them, I'm afraid.
Yeah, actually, I've been to their shop. I think it's Lab Shack. And a lot of players are actually piloting this kind of deck from Zax. I think, yeah, it's a staple right there.
Yeah, but I've also heard that they do have a lot of people piloting the same deck. They must have playtested it a lot, and it does actually work really well against the meta. But we'll see how it does against a relatively new deck that's not really in the meta game.
Okay, so Zax actually plays first.
I'm not actually sure if Zach is the higher seed or if Mark chose to draw. He might have, but well, doesn't matter right now. But right now, Zach is playing first.
Right, so quick two turns without casting anything, but here goes Anissa for Zax.
And Mark, I guess, is contemplating if he will let it resolve, and he does.
So Mark's next play for this turn is either an anticipate or counter on the mage ring, I guess.
Yep.
And I think he's going for
Oh,
a
it's
spatial
actually spatial
contortion.
contortion of the Nissa. He probably had something like a Clash of Wills in hand, but opted to use the contortion because he doesn't know. He has seen the deck Zax is playing, and he knows that he doesn't have a lot of targets for that card. He plays his Human Reef and passes his turn.
He plays a thought.
So yeah, Mark will definitely not let that card resolve. Yeah, passes the turn.
To Zax.
And the way this going, Mark probably has another counter for that spell. And
Yeah, he chooses to not tap Major Network.
yep. Oh well, he plays anticipate. Well, if with how that went, he might actually not have anything, so he leaves Matrix Network untapped in case he doesn't anticipate into a counter spell.
Yeah,
That way he just charges the card. Well, yeah,
he actually does that.
doesn't get anything and takes 5 damage.
Right now he has 5 mana. What is he planning to do right now? Oh,
That
he's an
is
archive.
Hedron Archive. That gives him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana next turn if he chooses to activate the Matrix Network.
He's gonna take another 5. And just like that, he's done 10.
This is going very quick for Mark. He needs to draw something really quick. Um, what does he? Let's look at the deck list and see what he has, and he can take care of this though. He has a. Uh,
And he does have a Chase on a regular secret.
well, he has. Oh,
Oh, he has Donner.
there you go.
There we
Donner
go.
of Hope. He gets 2 signs from that. That's actually 2 scions, not a scion with 2+1+1 counters for those who don't know. And there, the judge asks him to fix the card. So now what does Axe do? He could activate the Quagmire, and what um, Mark would be doing here is he would probably trade the Drowner for the Smasher and block the Quagmire with one of the Scions.
Yeah, and the Remover's command would be a blowout though.
It's well, it is in a sense that it doesn't allow him to trade, but it's still the
Oh,
play. Oh, Spatial Contortion gets rid of the Quagmire. Oh, and no Dromoka's command. And now Mark faces a clean board with Oh, Zax does have one more Quagmire, but Mark has one, two, three, four, five, six, seven,
I think he has
eight,
9 mana on board
nine on board. Yeah,
with the Scion.
so one more for an Ulamog. He's thinking of swinging, and he does.
Down to 19 for
Fastest
Zax.
I've learned those. So right now he can actually.
Oh, another reality smash.
Oh, Zax. Oh, well,
Well.
let's see if this resolves though. Because him playing Reality Smasher means he does not have enough mana to activate the Quagmire. So Mark easily buys another turn if he has a counter for this. And I believe he does. And is that a special move? Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, and this is what I mentioned earlier. Even if you can resolve some of your spells, it sometimes isn't enough to get through the deck. Like he was able to resolve a Reality Smasher, but an easy drowner will just trades for it.
Oh, now here's Ulamog getting rid of the two other threats. A Declaration Stone isn't too bad, but oh, well, does this mean
With how big that decks look, I think Zax can get away with two attacks, but he is actually down to one more attack with the life total.
yep, down to 9?
And Mark checks the board to see what he does. So on the main deck, Zax has five answers to this thing
In Anguish Unmaking and
and
Declaration
declaration.
Stone.
Yep. Not sure if we could. Oh, we didn't get a shot of the exile zone to see if he actually drew one. I mean, if some are already there. There's a
It's
Dromoka's
just a
command.
Demox command.
That
I
will
think
not be
it's
enough.
game 2.
Well,
Oh,
he can
there's
actually still
a.
block with the
Yeah,
Quagmire, but he counts a card.
he would charge.
He
Sure.
counts 23 cards in the main deck.
Okay.
So he can block with the Quagmire and survive for another uh, 3 turns.
If I were Mark, this would be a good opportunity to see the contents of the deck.
Well, he looked at the first 20 cards. So, yep, and there's a Quagmire. Marcus, looking at the mana, I think he might have a spatial. Oh, there we go. I believe that's a spatial. Oh no, it's a Causadex return, killing the
Yeah.
Quagmire and dealing lethal. And we're going to game 2. So, what are we looking at then for game 2?
For Zax, I think he would really like to have Transgress the Mind, knowing that, uh, like Ramp, uh, Mark has threats with Drowner and Ulamog that just takes too long. If they don't have counter spells for the discard, then Zax will be in great shape for the early game.
Yeah, he actually has 4 Transgressor Minds, a Painful Truths that could draw him cards, and I guess Obnixilis works a bit. All the rest um, are mainly for aggro or for Coco cards, so that's his best bet. From Mark's side, he has. Um,
Additional copies of Cosmic Return, I guess.
I'm not sure that. I'm. Well, he has.
He does have Ulamog, who trigger Kozilek returns.
Uh, yeah, I guess that works. He could also board in a couple of botnats here, I guess.
Mm.
That uh, and I'm not really sure how this deck plays out, but from what I see, that yeah, he can put in a couple of whatnots here, and I'm not too sure about Kozilek's return because it doesn't really do much on the early game against the other deck. Well, it actually hits that cap and Nisab, and that's it. So
Well, as we can see on the screen, Mark's deciding on 4 cards. So what could those be?
yeah, I'm thinking whatnots here
Endless one, maybe?
and I have no idea. Um,
Endless one could be threat for a 5/5 that could be sizable versus Reality Smasher.
yeah, that could work. But he's actually pretty good in the main deck
Yeah,
against the other deck. Um, he could choose to board in negate, knowing that Zax is um, boarding in transgress the mine. But the problem is with that is Zax is playing first. So if Mark was playing first, boarding in negate would be a good idea.
uh-huh.
I'm not too sure about being on the draw though.
Does Hallowed Moonlight have a place in the post-boarded games for that?
He could consider it. I mean, to to counter the Groundner of Hope a bit, but I don't think that's enough. I mean, it's a cycling card, but you you really don't have enough. Well, you really don't have things that you could take out. I mean, you'd rather play removal maybe than that. But when I mean actual removal, so I guess it's really just transgress
I see. And the Painful Truths.
and the painful truths, of course, and yeah, the next list. So okay, so both players drawing their starting seven, and it's gonna be Zaxxon to play for game two. So he's staring at a hand with, I believe, no white sources. I think that's a Quagmire and a Forest. Oh, actually, he does have a plane, so I think he'll be keeping this one. Okay, so both players keep. Zach starts with a Quagmire. Mark starts with a Shimonri Forest into Sylvan Advocate. Now, this is a good card in this matchup because he says Mark really doesn't have anything, I think, to deal with this. Oh, wait, is Spatial Contortion -3?
Yeah, it is. It's a plus 3
Okay.
minus 3.
In that case, yeah,
And
it's.
now it's a Transgress the Mind. There you go.
So,
He sees a
what are we
Chandra,
taking here? It's a.
a Drowner of Hope, and a
Oh,
Cosmic Return, and some lands. With Hydron Archive.
So he doesn't really have anything to take aside from those three. Oh no, four cards. He might be
You might be interested in the Hedron archive.
he might be interested in the archive, but he because Mark has won't be playing the Drowner or the Chandra in until turn five. If he takes the Hedron archive, Mark has around four turns to draw a land, and then he's still able to play the Drowner or the Chandra. So I mean, it might be the best play, but it's still I don't I still don't think that's good enough to disrupt Mark's hand.
But I think it's kind of
Yeah,
good enough for.
it may be the best play, but not good enough against that hand.
Okay, so
So
now we're going for top, not a guess. Oh no, it's a Gideon.
Gideon probably making a
Right?
nine. I would have plussed the Gideon.
Well, the thing with plussing Gideon is there's not really much of incentive with plussing it, considering Mark doesn't have exquisite paragraph or any spell to that effect.
Yeah, but if you plus the Gideon this turn, then the next turn you could minus, and that would make sure everything else survives Ozaki return, which he does know that Mark has.
Alright, so now this is. Wait, why is it not attacking with the token?
Um, hmm. Well, at this point, I guess he's thinking Mark's playing the Chandra next turn, and he wants to make sure that Gitchin survives.
Oh, okay.
So now he gets Drowner, two tokens. Okay, fixes the tokens, making sure everything's clear. So Mark is actually down to 10 um, with some good cards on his access board. He does have both a Quagmire and a Shambling Vent.
So he can only activate one this turn.
Yep. So what he could do is, what he could do is plus Gideon and attack with everything, with everything plus the Quagmire,
That's the possibility.
and um and Mark will probably trade with the Smasher and block the and either block the Gideon or mass block the Knight, and that will put Mark down to three.
Don't you think it's a better play to just go emblem on Gideon and attack with the Quagmire and the Smasher?
That actually also works. If you go Emerald Gideon and attack with everything, yeah, you could actually go Emerald Gideon and attack with everything.
Yeah, but he chooses just to go for Gideon and Smasher. Yeah,
At that point, with Mark tapped out, I really think he should have gone for everything. I mean, attacked with everything, cause the worst case, uh, oh no, sorry about that. He no Mark doesn't go to seven if he did that. If he did that,
oh, another downer for Mark here.
well, but that changes things a little bit. Oh, but I guess he does not want to attack with everything because he just wants to make sure Gideon survives. It's the safe play, but let's see
Yeah,
if
but
it pays off.
I think Zax is having a sort of a mana flood right here.
Is that more hissing quagmires in his hand?
I see a Canopy Vista. I can't quite clearly see the other two cards. I know his draw for his turn is a Canopy Vista.
Okay. Well, that actually, he's even with the Vista though, he still doesn't have enough to activate both hands. Okay, pluses on the Gideon.
Oh, that's a nice player.
Yeah, that's why. Well, actually, at this state, he really can't do much. That's really the play because he doesn't have the smasher anymore. But earlier, that Mark could easily have done something similar to that. That's why I was thinking he should have attacked with everything instead.
And I think here comes Chandra.
Yep, that's genre for not doing anything yet. He will probably plus.
Yep, he does.
So at this point, do you do you block?
I think it's safe to just go.
Well, he can
Some,
just because Mark is down to 8. He needs Zax has
oh wait,
uh,
Zax is at still at 20.
yeah, Zax is at 20, but Mark is down to 8, and Zax has 3 attackers at most. So, oh yeah, but he cannot attack with the Drowner because of the Hissing Quagmire. Oh, and it actually goes for Gideon.
Yeah, that way the threat of the threat actually doesn't
Yep,
really.
and taps the Shambling Bend in response. So Gideon's gone, and the Elementals are gone for the turn.
Alright, heading back to Zax's way. He needs to draw a spell here. Oh, he has another Planeswalker in hand. But he drew a land. That's 3 lands in a Gideon in his hand.
And actually, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So playing the Gideon and making a knight will not be a good idea because Mark has Chandra, which can go -2, I think.
Yeah,
And if he does that, he will not have enough mana to activate any of the lands to block the Crowner. So,
that's one thing I've noticed with a lot of players is they're really telegraphing that they're gonna make some land drops. So if you may have noticed in Zax's part, he was telegraphing a land drop by placing his card onto the table but not yet revealing what card it is. And then it proceeds to put it back in his hand and changes it last minute. So I think that just gives unnecessary information.
but then it would actually work if you didn't have the land and pretended to do that.
Yeah, that works. But that's just a next level game right there. And
So
here's
he
a
does
Gideon.
play the Gideon. So what does he do with it? I think at this point the only thing you can do is make an emblem.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he can choose not to and make so he forces the Chandra to go -2, but
Oh, and he takes. Oh no, he doesn't.
yeah, he can make a knight, force the Chandra to go -2. The Drowner attacks the Gideon, and he just basically buys another turn, but ends up with no tokens, and I guess that's why he chooses to make an emblem.
Right. Shipping the turn to Mark. Still goes +1.
Yep, because at this point there's really no reason to go minus. That token is not gonna trade because Mark is down to 8, and he and Zax wants to make an attack at some point.
So that's down to what? Down to 9? That's 11
Yep.
damage?
Yes. So at this point, Zax really needs to start making attacks, but um, I'm not sure if there's much he can do. Plays another land.
I think he's planning to activate both uh, manlands.
He could.
He ships back the turn.
If he no, if he activated the Shambling Vents and attacked and gained three life, it would still be lethal. So he can't attack.
He's
Anticipate.
searching for something.
Is this end of turn?
Yeah. It was a charge counter. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Okay, so
and 10.
keeping the lands back means that the Drowner would have to trade for hissing Quagmire, but I guess Zax is willing to make that trade at this point, and Mark is as well. So chooses to activate the Shambling instead to gain life. Oh, he can activate both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So
So right now it's gonna be the
I
Quagmire
think he
trading
needs
for the Drowner
to
and
take
Shambling gaining 3.
2 points of life there.
No, because the Shambling has an emblem.
Oh no, I mean for the activation.
Ah, that is a Llanowar waste.
Yeah, all his black mana come from Painlands.
Yeah, he's gonna go down to 7
Yeah.
and take no damage. We're still at 7. Well, he's taking 3 damage but gaining 3 left, so that puts him back to 7. He loses the Quagmire now.
Okay. So we're still down to 7. Supposedly.
Yeah, down to 7 with an attacker. So once Mark shifts the turn, at this point, Zax really has no chance to. I mean, no choice but to attack.
Alright, that's 3.
It's a
That's
causal
Cosmos
execution.
return.
Oh, okay, to kill the Shambling Band.
He's
The
done.
knight survives though because of the Giljan emblem.
Let's see what Zax. Draws. And he draws a reality smasher.
This could actually be something. He has to. It has to resolve though. That's a problem. And Mark has what? 6 cards in hand.
That's a
That's a
definite counter.
okay. That's Clash of Wills for the two.
So reality smasher does not. So
And
yeah,
as I mentioned earlier, Zax is down to 7. Chandra can attack for 6. So he really has to start attacking now, and he does.
attacks to whom though?
He needs to attack Mark. His only chance is to raise Mark at
Oh,
this point.
Mark's down to 5.
And Zax is down to 7 with. Oh, and he draws Chandra. Gets excited. So what he does is makes the token, plays another Chandra, makes the tokens again, and attacks, and that's the
That's the
game.
game. We have our WMCQ champion, Mark Ramos, with UR Eldrazi control.
And you can see it in his face. I mean, he's really excited about it. Uh, so we would like to thank everyone for tuning in. You should so make sure to subscribe to our channel for more WMCQ and other Magic content, and for other geek stuff. Well, make sure to subscribe to the Red Zone.
Peace out.